Hey everybody, we are at Arrowhead Stadium after the Chiefs' 30-14 win against the Jaguars. I'm Brooke Pryor. I've got Lynn Worthy beside me, Sam Mellinger on the other side of me, and Blair Kerkhoff out from behind the camera on the other side of Sam. So this game came into it supposed to be the number one defense against the number one offense, and then turns out it was another defense that became the talk of the game. As Orlando Scandrick said, they kind of felt like the Chiefs defense felt like they were the missing piece of the puzzle, and they kind of put it all in together today with a huge performance. Sam, you wrote about the defense. What was your biggest takeaway from this performance?
I think this is exactly what they needed in terms of like two specific ways. Like one, this team has a reputation, whether they like to admit it or not, around the league for being soft. And they certainly were not soft today. And two, this defense doesn't have to be good. It probably can't be good, with the personnel. It doesn't even have to be average, but if they can be dangerous, if they can force turnovers and be dangerous that way, I think that combined with the offense being what it is, forces the opposition into a lot of pressure and bad decisions and things like that. And this can really be something that's more than, just the Pat Mahomes freak show. If the defense can be dangerous like that and they can stand up and take a punch.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Punch back. Sometimes literally.
Yeah, there might have been a few too many punches. I think I counted and there were at least two unsportsmanlike conducts, and then was a taunting and a roughing the passer, and then Chris Jones was disqualified for maybe an elbow, maybe a punch. We're not really sure, but I think that was the kind of physicality that they'd been lacking a lot. Maybe they went a little overboard. Blair, you were in there when Andy Reid was talking. What did he have to say about the physical nature of this game?
Well, he said he was happy with the way the defense played, but you can't play like that, and maybe it was the Chiefs their version of playing physical defense, and they don't know how to do it, so they went a little overboard on it. But think about this: they ended the game without Chris Jones, Justin Houston, D Ford, Armani Watts, Eric Murray. Were all not in the game because of either injury or ejection. And it actually got to a point where the Jags made it a 16-point game because they recovered the onside kick. They recovered the kick, and they were down 16. They scored there and get the 2-point conversion. There's still like 4 minutes to go. So it was such a good defensive effort today that the replacements, including Braylon Speaks and Tano Passanio and whoever else was all on the field, Jordan Lucas, all these guys that didn't play a whole lot, haven't gotten a lot of defensive snaps this year, kind of came up big for him at the end too. So even though the Jaguars ended up with more than 500 total yards, by far the Chiefs' best defensive game of the year.
Speaking of that, of the game being close, my favorite moment, and we didn't get it on tape or recorder, which is probably for the best, but just chatting with Orlando Scandrick at his locker after the game, he was less than thrilled that the Jags decided to take that end zone shot at the end of the game, and he was like, I had to intercept it because that was just disrespectful to try to throw that Hail Mary right at the end. I was like, man, it's a 16-point game. I mean, probably nothing's going to happen here, but he did not take kindly to that and felt it was disrespectful. So I think he threw the ball in the crowd afterward.
Yeah, I think it's up to me to remind, to at least address with Sam that number 22 got an interception and took a ball and flung it into the stands. And look, I know
Prefer the punt.
I know, but yet it was still kind of a choke-up moment, I think, for you. Little tear coming down the corner. Yeah, because the old number 22 was known for placing a ball into the stands after a big play. But you're right, he kicked it, right?
Which, fun fact about that, it's only a 5-yard penalty if you get caught for delay a game. It's absolutely incredible.
That's right.
Might as well do it anyway.
I gotta say, I didn't realize that the current number 22 had as much edge as he seemed to have post-game when he was talking about, not just that, but about Jaguars being a physical team. And he jumped right in to correct that and said, no, they like to, what was it? They like to think they're a physical team or act like they're a physical team.
Yeah, let's see. We've got.
But they're not really, is what he said. And,
Where's the quote?
Add a little salt into the wound after a 30-14, win on
He
home
did.
turf.
He said, we physical. I don't think they physical. I think they want to pretend they're physical when everything is going good. But I think we're a really physical team. I think we played a physical style of defense.
Yeah, that won't come back during the playoffs at all. If they match
that's
up
not
in the
going to be
playoffs.
pinned up on a bulletin board.
But, yeah,
It's going to be a crowded bulletin board. on both sides.
Well, I mean, is there going to be a separate Jalen Ramsey bulletin board? I mean, just
Seriously.
he himself can take care of that. But just to go back to what Sam was talking about, I think it reminds me of my conversation I had with Booger McFarland, talking about how this defense is sort of holding the team back, and he said, well, he said, I don't really care about yards. He says, what I really care about is whether or not is points. And he said, if they can create turnovers. And I think today they created 4 interceptions, had a strip sack. And, he basically was like, that's what they need to be. They don't need to be shutting people down. That's not probably what's going to happen. I'm not even sure that there's really that many shutdown defenses in the league at all. I mean, I would have probably looked at Jacksonville to be that one.
And they gave up 30.
And that didn't show up today. Yeah. So, I mean, and even in the back of my mind, I think of some of those Patriots teams that went to Super Bowls over and over again. Some of those defenses were tough, but some of those defenses were bend but don't break and just come up with turnovers at opportune times.
The team that won the Super Bowl last year gave up 500 yards passing.
Yeah, a record passing. And
the rules are different.
It was amazing.
Well, it's crazy, too. I think Bortles today had 430 yards, which a lot of those came in the fourth quarter when they were down 16. But even so, it's amazing that we're talking about what a great defensive performance it was when they still gave up over 400 yards to Bortles.
Yeah.
And 4 picks? 4 picks, is that right?
4 picks.
Four
Yep.
picks and a turnover and a fumble recovery.
And it's not just the and one was right at the end, right? The turnovers, but they also had the turnover on downs. I know it doesn't count technically, but
it was a great play by Armani Watts.
Yeah, and it was a
Fantastic
really
play by Armani Watts.
dumb thing by Doug Marone. Can we
Well-
talk about that too? Like,
well,
if
not-
you know you're going for it on 3rd and 4th down,
Yeah.
and you're going against that defense, can you run it twice and just pick it up?
Yes. Yeah. They ran a fade on
Whatever.
3rd down,
Yeah.
to a 5-10 wide receiver, and then that 4th down call was just horrible, just horrible. Bortles ends up 15 yards from the line of scrimmage and fires it over the middle. And credit Armani Watts, that was the play of the year for him. I know he had he's had a big play earlier this year. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, an interception. Right?
Did he, or a fumble recovery, something?
He had a sack against Denver.
Had a sack
Yep.
against Denver. Had a sack. That's what it was.
Yeah, that was great.
Yep.
Yeah, but this was a really nice play but it occurred on a really dumb call.
Yeah, no
well
kidding.
said.
By the way, Ryan mentions that he really likes the themed shirts, which look at that. I don't know if we're just in a gray scale today. I've got black. You guys have this gray, silver.
Fun fact: touch it. It's
What
like
is-
that. It's like
Is that a polo, like a long sleeve
I don't know.
polo?
It's like that tri-blend.
Ooh.
Super soft. I was on a plane today. I'm getting.
Yeah,
Oh, you need sweatpants in your set.
Maybe it's the weather. Maybe it all subconsciously affected how we dress today.
Does yours have cheese and salsa on it though? No. I'm wearing mine, baby.
This is the point of the show where we just inspect to see what we've spilled during the game.
Yeah. I think I'm all right now.
Speaking of the defense, I'm trying to find where that comment was. Someone asked, if I can find it, why trade for Earl Thomas when Jordan Lucas has been sitting on the bench? Well, I guess trade for Earl Thomas when he was healthy. But yeah, I thought Jordan Lucas had a really good game. I talked with him afterward. He was really emotional. This was the first game his mom has seen him play in 3 years. He's been in the league 3 years. He was with Miami, gets traded here. His mom was in the stands, his sister-in-law and his fiance, who is pregnant, due in February 3rd. So he said it could get a little dicey depending on where they are in the postseason. But he gets his first career interception and then runs it back 49 yards. And he said he just felt like he was a kid out there, kind of like zigzagging through everybody. And then the whole bench emptied. And
Really did.
I thought that was huge.
Yeah.
That was the biggest celebration from the Chiefs I've seen all year. Was that was really neat to see.
I think it's because of the type of guy that he is. He seems like a really nice guy and like a guy that, he didn't ask to be traded here. That was kind of a surprise right at the end of the preseason. Comes here, is kind of buried in the depth chart, only was taking special team snaps. And tonight was the first defensive snaps he's taken all season. I thought that was huge.
I think it was also because he broke 45 tackles
Also
on
that.
that run against a team that they've been like trash talking the whole game. That was awesome.
That was awesome. There's another interception. Steven Nelson had his first career interception. You talked with him afterwards. What did he have to say about that?
Yeah, and I think I went back and got the numbers, assuming that my math is not off. It's like more than 1,800 defensive snaps before he got that first pick.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, because he's a guy who started at nickel for them, started last year, but yeah, so and it came off of a deflection off of a helmet, which I thought was fitting considering the celebration that they had, the tip drill celebration at the end of it. So
with the windmill dunk at the end,
with the windmill dunk / spike at the end, that was
beautiful.
That was from all the DBs. I thought that was a nice touch there. But yeah, so it was a long time coming, and he said he thought he actually talked about he thought he had one earlier. And the grass gods got him, as in
the turf monster.
Yeah, the turf monster reached up and grabbed him. But and they were, Andy Reid said, "Oh well, it wasn't really him they were going after; it was the coverage." But it seemed like they were going after him early. It looked to me like they were going after him early. They completed one big deep one and then went at him 2 times in a row. That third down pass that we're all scratching our head about. That third down one, they went after him, and the second one, and the fourth down one was. The one that Watts broke up. So yeah, he had himself a day.
He almost had one in Pittsburgh. Remember? He
had one that was taken away. And,
because he got called for pushing off, and I thought it was a jump ball sort of call. It was a great play that he had in Pittsburgh, but didn't get it. I just remember thinking, well, there goes his first career. Maybe he'll never have one, and maybe he'll play for 10 years and never be a 10-year quarterback without a pick. But no,
look at that. Now he finally got one.
Today, that first ball that he gave up, the first ball that was completed on him, that was terrific coverage. He was right. You can't cover any better than he did. Sometimes it just, ball goes through your arms, and, there's no defense for a perfectly thrown ball.
Yeah, there's nothing
he
can
can play. The problem, like we talked a lot this offseason, all of us, whatever, about corners and lack of depth and all that stuff. The corners have been fine. The corners have been okay. The problem with this defense has been inconsistent pass rush. The inside linebackers have been terrible in coverage and tackling, and the safeties have been bad. But the corners have been okay.
I think
Orlando Scandrick included.
I think today was about big play defense, but I thought the tackling. I didn't notice bad tackling today, like it was really noticeable the last couple of games. But I don't think today. I just don't remember whiffs. D Ford off the edge was just what a motor he had today until he got hurt. We don't know the extent of that, but
he did come back.
we thought
he came
there were
back
a couple
and then
times he went out, came out for a play,
Yeah.
went to the sideline. He kind of squatted down a little bit, but then he's right back in, and twice he left the game and came back in. So
until the last time he didn't actually have the option of coming back.
Right.
The injection.
Right. Then it's not your choice anymore. It doesn't matter how healthy you are.
Yeah.
Because he was, how did you put it, Sam? He was speaking too sternly.
Too harshly.
Too harshly.
Can't do that to quarterbacks.
no.
Got to protect him. Put him in bubble wrap.
We talk all types of trash. Just can't do it to the QB.
protect those feelings.
Was there any kind of update on Justin Houston afterward, Blair? Did we get any
just whatever he calls us. Andy kind of uses strain and sprain interchangeably. So there's nothing. I didn't get a sense that it was a big deal. But was it a groin? I can't even remember now.
I think his was the
hamstring. That's right.
Hamstring. I want to say was Watts' groin.
Yes, because he re-aggravated, I think, a groin injury that he suffered during practice this week.
No.
We won't know tomorrow because the first thing Andy says in his Monday press conference is no updates on the injuries. Guys are just getting in. We'll get that to you. We'll get that to you.
Yeah,
The
on
only
Wednesday.
one we do know though is LDT, right?
Yeah.
We do know LDT's injury. Lawrence Duvernay-Tardif. I didn't see the play, but he was,
either.
but he apparently got rolled up and suffered a fractured fibula.
Right.
And so he is going to be out for several weeks.
It's a non-weight-bearing bone.
Right, and we all saw him in the locker room after the game. He had a crutch. And he's walking, it's on his left side, on his left leg. He has a crutch, but not expected to miss the entire season. Remember, it was in the Washington game, which was week 4 last year. He suffered a knee injury and missed 5 games for the Chiefs. Yeah. So that's kind of when their offensive line issues started for them. Maybe Mitch Morse had been injured before then, but they started going through a series of offensive line problems at that point a year ago. For the Chiefs, you hope it's not the beginning of that for them. But he's had a good season. He's a good player. Jordan Devey finished the game at that position, and he's a former starter. So I suspect we'll see Jordan Devey at right guard now for the next few weeks.
That answers Cameron's question who asked, will Devey be able to fill LDT's shoes while he's out, or will someone else end up in that position?
I think it'll be Devey. He has started a couple games for the Chiefs. He started 9 games for the 49ers the year before he came to Kansas City in 2016. So I think Devey's he'll end up being the guy.
With LDT out, though, do you think that means that Khalil McKenzie will end up being active? Because he's been inactive this whole time. Is that the guy that gets kind of bumped up in all this?
Somebody will. I mean, somebody will take the spot on the roster. So I don't know. I don't know if he's ready. You know, there's a reason why he's not on the team now. I don't know if we'll see him. You know what? Their practice squad roster, I'd have to look at it to see who else is on there.
They made a couple of those moves at the very end of camp, right? Because they grabbed some guys off waivers.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm trying to remember the guy who was with, I'm blanking.
The guy with Buffalo, he was waived again.
No, I was going to say the one who was with the Browns.
Right. Austin Reeder?
Yeah.
He's still there.
They've had a couple of guys.
But one thing the Chiefs have done, and what they use training camp for this and OTAs, is they try to create versatility with their offensive linemen. So, you know, they've got whoever is on the roster, I mean, has the ability to play multiple positions. Irving's the great example of that. He can play center. He could go to tackle and play guard. And so Devy would be my answer for now, but we'll know more this week. But I think they trust Jordan Devy.
Yeah. Well, and Wiley,
have you seen that mullet?
Remember them talking about Wiley got so much Wiley got so much attention at the beginning of the season. Remember, like that was that one depth chart that came out that had him starting. Remember? You know, so
Yep.
But he hasn't really played much. You know, I
No,
think just a couple of special team snaps.
Yeah,
like the third tight end sort of thing that they threw
Right.
in there.
I would think that would be a possibility because you're right. He was running with the starters through the preseason. So I thought the offensive line played really well
I
today.
thought they were great.
Yeah.
They were really good. Gave him a lot of time, holes, and the LDT injury is bad for them too because he's a guy they use a lot to get out in space on screen passes and stuff like that. That will require an adjustment.
Hey, it's Blair Kerkhoff, and if you're listening to this, you love Kansas City sports, whether it's the Chiefs, Royals, Sporting, Mizzou, KU, or K-State. And no one covers these teams like the Kansas City Star. If you currently subscribe to the paper or have a digital subscription, thank you for your support. And if you don't, here's a great offer. It's called Sports Pass. Unlimited digital access to every sports story and video on kansascity.com. And it's just $30 for the first year. It's the best sports value in town. Just 8 cents a day or $2.50 a month. You can't beat that. Subscribe now at kansascity.com/sportspass.
Kareem Hunt today had 22 carries for 87 yards and a touchdown, including a 24-yard run. I thought he looked really, really good.
You know, the 24-yard run, I had to look this up for the story I was writing. Coming into the game, the Jaguars had allowed eight pass plays of 20 yards or more this season, which was the fewest in the NFL. And Mahomes had 4 today.
Wow.
And the reason I brought that up is the fifth longest play for the Chiefs was that 24-yard run by Kareem Hunt. But this is the Jaguars defense. It doesn't give up chunk plays. And you know, there's Kelsey, you know, making a great move for a 40-yard gain. And wasn't that nice?
Yeah.
The Tyreek Hill streaking past, Jalen for his gain.
Well, I think I had said at the time, you know, we had the conference call during the week, and Doug Marrone is just throwing praise at everybody on the roster for Kansas City. And when he gets to Kelsey, he just starts listing off, and I saw him back in college, and and he talked about the run after the catch, and you thought he was just like, you know, he was just going to go on and on with days about his run after the catch. And so when I saw that, I was like, well, maybe that one was an exaggeration.
I don't know. It seemed like Doug Marrone, everything he said came true. Like, the defense played really well. Everybody on the offense played really well. Like,
he recognized it before anybody did.
He might want to change up that.
It will become true.
That's right.
He gave them too much
Spoke
praise.
it into existence.
That's exactly what happened. He's never going to do that
That
again.
explains those 3rd and 4th down calls. You know, too much respect for the defense. What are you doing?
Well, speaking of the offense, you're just talking about Patrick Mahomes. Jack wants to know, what are Patrick's lessons learned from his 2 interceptions?
The first one was just kind of a fluky. The ball just sailed away from him. It was just a bad throw.
It reminded me of the one in Denver last year.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
a little too much on it, and it sailed.
The second one was the kind of interception I thought that he would have thrown a couple times by now. In pressure, under pressure, kind of going away from the play a little bit, trusting his arm, trying to force something, just made kind of a bad decision trying to make a play. I don't know if there's like a really big lesson from it. He's going to have mistakes. I'm surprised that he hasn't had more. If there's one lesson, okay, so the first one was kind of fluky. The second one, there is a balance there between making plays and, that risk-reward calculus. And I think he's been on the right side of that all season. There he wasn't, but I think that was one. But it's just kind of a reminder to, be aware of that. But
He didn't see A.J. Boye in that second one. So it was a play fake. So then he turns his back to the play, and then he sets quickly and flings. He sets and flings, and he thinks he sees DeMarcus Robinson, flash open for a second, but Boye was right on him. I mean, couldn't cover him any better, and it was kind of an easy pick for where he was positioned. So you're right. That's the kind of play that we thought we'd see a lot of so far this year, and we took to the fifth game and 170 attempts to see that.
Yeah, I think probably the best defense he's going to see.
Yeah,
he's got an All-Pro corner and then a Pro Bowl corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and this, I believe, is his first game without a touchdown pass.
It is.
So he had one against Denver.
This season it is.
This season, yep. So, but he did.
Had a touchdown run.
Yeah, he did have a touchdown run, his second of his career.
And he threw for 313 yards. He ties the franchise record for most consecutive, his fourth straight 300-yard plus game. So
no big deal.
Yeah.
I
So
think he's
on
Worst game of the season.
by far his worst game of the season, and he throws for 313 against the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah, I think the number was like only one. They'd given up one 300-yard passing game since the beginning of 2017.
Yeah, beginning of last season.
Yeah, one 300-yard passing game, and then they faced Patrick Mahomes, and there you go.
Ryan, going back over to the defense, Ryan wants to know, with Lucas and Watts, are the Chiefs suddenly deep at safety? I'm going no, because they have so many guys. As Andy said, he was like, we got down to our sixth safety. You don't want to be playing safety for us right now.
They're deep in injured safeties.
Yes, yes, they are.
Suddenly deep is not something that I think really exists in the NFL. Oh,
No.
suddenly deep.
No, you don't want that. Kathy wants to know, any possibility that Jones or Ford is suspended next week?
I wouldn't think so.
You think there's any fines coming anybody's way?
Chris Jones might get a small fine. I say small.
Just our salaries, it's fine. Peanuts.
I could see a small fine for punching.
Yeah. I mean, Kareem Hunt got his fine this weekend, but that was for leading with the helmet.
That was nearly 3/4 of his paycheck.
Yeah, that was a hefty one. That
That
was
was-
$26K is a pretty hefty fine.
He makes 36 per game.
So I think you're right. I think Chris Jones will get fined, but Ford won't. Not for his transgressions.
As harshly as he spoke, it was not finable.
He may get a timeout.
Well, Chase wants to know, can Travis Kelce mentor Ford, Jones, and Hunt on chilling out and not getting unsportsmanlike penalties and ejections? Which,
He's done a very good job.
if we're on
controlling his
Travis
emotions.
Kelce mentoring people to keep their cool,
Awesome image.
we've really come full circle.
How about that?
If I was like the social media director for the Chiefs, that's what I would do. Like have Travis Kelce as like the mentor for all these kids and be like, grow up.
Maybe like a scared
Be like
straight
me.
program.
Yeah, I was gonna say they should have a little
Should have
skit with
highlights of
Kelsey.
him, like
Throwing the flag, that's the official.
Oh man.
It's definitely Facebook Live After Dark now.
Kelsey was the best. I missed that. I missed that,
He had
Kelsey.
a couple moments today, it felt like, that he started
Might have.
to touch that.
His first down celebration got a little extended.
Yes,
I
it
think
did.
he wanted to let go of one, but
Yeah, but he held it in.
yeah.
He had, 100 yards today?
100
His
yards. Yeah,
15th game over 100 yards. Only 5 catches.
Yeah,
That's not too bad.
he was good. He was really good today.
Let's see. Who else has a question? Jacob wants to know, why does Bob Sutton continue to send Reggie Ragland into coverage? It's clearly a glaring weakness. TJ Yeldon embarrassed him badly. What is our take? Who wants to take that?
Well, I wonder, the snap counts will be interesting tomorrow to see how many Terrence Smith got, because I think increasingly they're liking him on passing down.
Yeah, Sam,
Well, yeah,
you
but
talked
I
to him too, didn't you?
Yeah, he was fired up. He was the first one that I've heard anyway mention Atlanta.
Oh, it got mentioned.
Oh,
did.
really?
It got
He did.
mentioned
It
today.
was something like, we're going to keep this momentum going all the way to Atlanta.
Wow.
Hmm.
5 games in. Here we
right.
go, Atlanta.
October, we're already hearing
Third
that.
down
huh?
linebacker.
right.
Let's go.
Oh, no, wait. So Smith said that?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying Ragland said that. I was like,
I don't
that-
think
that
anybody
sounded
talked
like,
to Ragland.
It sounded like out of character for Ragland, but yeah, okay. To me, I mean, but the thing with Smith is I think they've been doing that since the beginning. Just it's a matter of trying to not get caught with Reggie on the field, when you know it's going to be a passing down. And then, so teams obviously, on early down, because I think it was first or second, right? That touchdown, the Yeldon, I think it was a first or second down play where they know Ragland's on the field because he's out there to stop the run, and they take advantage of it. I mean, same thing San Francisco did with the fullback was play action. And he's out there to stop the run. His eyes are here. Fullback goes out. And, So, I mean, again, the whole idea about stopping the run and so much emphasis on that in the offseason. And he's going to be one of those guys who, in theory, is going to do that for you. I mean, he's going to do it more than Terrence Smith is. But there's, the whole risk-reward. You're giving up the passing game is for the backs.
Smith had a sack today, too, didn't he? Didn't T. Smith have a sack
I
today?
think so, right?
I think they finished with, 5 sacks or something.
Team did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty impressive. Let's see. Let's go to another question. Joe wants to know, who are the Chiefs signing before the deadline, a middle linebacker or pass rusher, between no coverage by the linebackers and now with all the injuries in the pass rush? What moves do we think are coming?
Boy, it's a good question. I don't know. I'll be interested when you guys watch a tape to see how Breland Speaks played today. I know he had the fumble recovery on the strip sack, D4 strip sack, but that was just right place at the right time, right? He wasn't in on the sack. I don't remember him being close to a sack today.
Well, I saw a couple where he was, close, relatively speaking, like a step or two away. I don't know if they gave him, I didn't look to see if they gave him hurries on that or pressures or whatever, but there were a couple of times. I think I mentioned it to you, Sam, when I said he's had one of those games where there's a bunch of almost, but for him, if that turns into something the next time out, then it means something. Otherwise, it's just more almost for him, and especially with the fans looking at him as the top pick from last year. I think it's starting to build with the fans at least that he, hasn't really been productive. But.
He looks way behind me, but I still think that if they do something, it'll be a safety. I still think that, even though that's what they've been doing, it just that's where their holes are. That's where their injuries are. I guess they've got injuries other places too, but maybe that changes if Justin Houston's hamstring is like his knee a couple of years ago, something like that. Mm-hmm. But I still think they want coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Does their record and their position now give them a little bit of room to rest a guy maybe and give him a game to they are who else has one loss in the AFC? Bengals maybe a one-loss team.
Maybe
the Jags were until today.
And the Titans lost today, so they're a two-loss team. Patriots are a two-loss team.
What are the
Miami,
Dolphins?
I think I was saying maybe
just lost to New England. I think that might be.
No.
Unless did they lose? Did they play today? Because that loss, I'm thinking of was last.
Yes,
they lost
they
to the
did
Bengals
play
today,
today.
so I think that's why I think the Bengals are the. I don't have the standings in front, but
Trying to call them
I just wonder if they can manage their roster and their injury list a little bit now in a way that
4-1.
Okay.
That's the only other one.
You know how to work your ESPN app a lot
And
better
they
than
do,
me.
and they do play the Bengals
Yeah.
here later in the season.
Yeah, actually 2 weeks, right?
I think it also lets
Is this the game
them,
after the Patriots?
yeah, I believe so.
I also think it lets them be a little more patient with Eric Berry. I think that matters as well.
With Barry, I just wonder about on the outside though, because they only kept 4 outside guys on the roster, right?
That's right.
So
we were talking about who would with. That's right. When Houston and Ford were out, and it was Passanio and Speaks, if one of those guys went down, what were they going to do? I thought maybe they'd bring Chris Jones in because he sometimes lines up outside. In fact, there was one today. You'll see it in the film where you had Ford and Houston on one side and Jones on the other.
Right.
I thought that was kind of interesting, and it didn't work. I think it was a 3rd and 6 or something, and the Jags completed pass to Yeldon. But I think it would be Jones if that was the case.
But did they? Because I noticed them do one time Speaks and Ford on the same side, but then I think Speaks dropped into coverage. So I wonder, but because I was going to say I didn't notice the one you're talking about, but I'm assuming one of them must have dropped into coverage.
Yeah, well, on the play, Ford ended up making the tackle, so maybe he did drop into coverage. But I remember Ford made the tackle.
Mm-hmm. Blake wants to know, what are our impressions of Derek Nottie? He looked good today, and he made his first start today.
Right.
And then once Chris Jones went out, he started to play more second half. There was some more injuries, ejections, something that happened that he was in the mix more.
It seems like he was getting Xavier Williams snaps.
Yeah,
a lot of Xavier Williams
and they were
snaps
both
today.
playing together.
I think when you do the snap counts, we're going to find that he had his most active game today. I don't know. I don't know if he played, how he played. Someone who's watching, it's different from our perspective in the press box, actually a little different than watching that position on TV. I'd have to look at the tape a little bit to see how he played.
Yeah, and I didn't really watch the middle of the. Like, there was a couple times when I literally just watched Speaks just because he was in there so much at the end of the game.
Yeah,
that's why, like I said, I think there's a couple times where he was a step or two away. But I mean, you can do that with one person, but then that means you're really not watching that much else in the field.
And we miss Vahe for a lot of reasons, but I especially miss him right now because we've had a couple questions of people asking us, how does this year's 5-0 team or 5-0 start feel compared to last year's? Vahe wrote a whole column about it, but you guys were here for last year's 5-0 team, so what are your impressions of how this feels versus last year?
I think it feels similar, actually. Like, as far, like in a very big general picture. The specifics are much different. The specifics are the quarterback is the most obvious. But last year, I think it was there was a similar, at least for me, there was a similar feeling in that, it's 5-0, but we've seen this before. And maybe it's different now. It's 5-0, we've seen this before, but not with this quarterback. But the defense, when they were 5-0 last year, remember, it's easy to forget this now because of the way the season ended. But when they were 5-0 last year, they had beaten the Patriots, and the defense did really well in that game on the road, and then they beat the Eagles.
Chris Jones had the game of his life against the Eagles. 3 sacks and a pick.
And Justin Houston was a
monster,
freaking superhero in that game. And so that was 5-0, and you'd beaten those teams. And Houston was supposed to be kind of some hot
that was
stuff
their
at
fifth
that
win.
time.
They went down to Houston and won for their fifth win.
And they did that
Scored
too.
a bunch of points on Deshaun Watson's team.
Yeah. So I think if you think about where it was at 5-0, there was a lot of optimism. Now, that team still had a smaller margin for error just because of the quarterback. I know that sounds like a pick on Alex Smith, but I think it's just factually, objectively true, right? So that's the biggest difference.
What I remember was at 5-0 last year, Kareem Hunt was going nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, he was incredible for those first 5 games. Alex Smith was the MVP of the NFL after 5 games. He had some big numbered games and everything. But I'll tell you what I also remember is in the 6th game, they came here and lost to the Steelers in the exact same way they lost to the Steelers in the playoff game the previous year. And that was a deflating loss. I mean, a real deflating loss for the Chiefs. It's like, we can't beat that team. We can't beat the Steelers. It was the same game plan. Le'Veon Bell rushed for another 170 on him, and
score was almost the same.
It was the same type of game. Now they're going to New England. I don't think they'll be favored. I don't. I think they'll be a small under 2 or 3, maybe 4 point underdog. But so I would probably pick them to lose if I had to pick them right now. But I don't. They could lose that game, and I don't think I'd be down on them because of what I've seen through 5 games. And so you're right, Sam. It's because of Mahomes and what they can do with this offense. They'd have to get shut out, maybe. I mean, just something that you hadn't seen yet.
Right.
When they lost to Pittsburgh, we had seen that.
Right. Mike Wilson wants to know, Patrick Peterson has been mentioned for a trade. Any thoughts on if they make that deal?
They can't afford him. He makes $3-4 million more than Earl Thomas, and they were moving heaven and earth to fit that under the cap. They just, I think financially, they just can't make that work.
What about Honey Badger? It's another. People are just going to keep throwing out questions.
I don't know what that contract
We're going to
is.
have Sam just give us his off the cuff thoughts.
I've thought about Peterson. I haven't thought about Honey Badger, so I'd have to look up the contract and all that.
Let's see. Any more questions? Did Kansas City put the AFC on notice after today? Bullied Jacksonville from snap to snap is also what Mike said.
I kind of think so. I do.
There's something to that.
Yeah, I kind of, yeah. I mean, they don't have to win in New England next week for them to still be, I think, a favorite to have a 1 or a 2 seed. Yeah. But especially if they come back and beat Cincinnati the next week.
Andy Reid said something. he was good in his post game, like especially like by Andy Reid standards. Like,
Was there any more sweet and sour
pushed
pork?
around.
Grading on the curve.
No, you're right. He was.
But he said something, and it was right at the end. It was. I'm paraphrasing. He was like, "This is an important win, but at the same time, we're talking about the 5th game of the season." And I was like, "Put that under my byline. Like, just make that the column. Like, that is absolutely what. Yeah, I mean, it's we've seen what it means to the Chiefs were 9-0. It was
Andy's first
13.
year. Just Andy Reid's first year.
We've seen stuff like this before. It's great, but you got to continue it.
I think it's hard. It's just hard for me to go from. We were just talking about how last year they were 5-0 to now this 5-0. They put the AFC on notice. I mean, I guess temporarily maybe, but then if they go out there next week and lay an egg, then
Everybody goes off notice.
Yeah, I was gonna say
The notices turn off.
They send out a notification. Just kidding.
Somebody on Twitter, I hate doing this because I can't remember who said it, but they said it was Kevin Clark. I think it was Kevin Clark who writes for the Ringer, and he said, I just wanted to see what the big story was last year after Week 5, and it was Ben McAdoo is off the hot seat. Like, that's great.
So lots can change.
Right.
Yeah.
Mark Giordano wants to know, what will it take to beat the Patriots? Which we'll get into that more in our next episode of this later this week. But
That's a good teaser.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Just trying to give you guys a cliffhanger. Someone else already mentioned, though, that on tonight's Sunday night broadcast, they're already talking about next week's Sunday night game.
Yeah, and it's prime time. It'll be a big ratings bonanza.
Prime time for Showtime.
Yeah. Well,
That's Showtime. What are you-
Not doing it.
No, I'm not. Not going.
You
not
can't make
going there
Fetch
with that.
happen. Fetch isn't going to happen.
Do we like Showtime? Do we
No.
like it?
not particularly. But.
I mean, does Mahomes like it? Have we?
Didn't we determine that his dad called him Showtime growing up, and that's why he said
where
that's what he's
ESPN
cool
seems
with?
to have
I think it was
created the label for him.
Interview
BJ
somewhere.
asked him about it during the preseason on the field and asked him, like, hey, what nickname do you want? And Patrick said Showtime, which is cool and all, but I also don't think you can pick your own
No,
nickname.
you can't ask. You can't ask for him.
Well, didn't he say that was the one he liked, or did he just say that was what his old man used to call him?
Maybe a combination of both.
Yeah.
Whatever it is,
And then, I
don't know about that.
It sounds like there's multiple nicknames going on, at least in the locker room. Because Sherman this week said that he actually goes by Patty Cakes when he's referring to him, but there's other guys call him different
heard
names.
St. Patty, Patty Melt, any version of Patty.
Patty Cake.
Patty Cake.
Yeah.
You name it. So yeah, I think Showtime is maybe short for this world.
We'll
But
see. We'll see.
we'll see. Let's see. Anything else you guys want to address before we sign off here? I think we've covered everything. We kind of ping-ponged back and forth, but I really like these questions, so we just kind of went with them and went to see where they led. So that will be it from us tonight at Arrowhead. We'll be back later this week to preview the Patriots, and then we'll be back for a real Facebook Live After Dark from Foxborough a week from today. So get ready for that. Be prepared to stay up late. Yeah, cool. That could be tough. So that's it from us. We will talk to you later this week. Until then, you can follow all our work on kansascity.com, on our Twitter, and in the paper every morning.